time for Two Guys and a Goalie with Dustin Nielsen, Matt Kassian, and the goalie, Joaquin Gage.
I sit here and I already break something. I don't know what they boys do with this sometimes. Welcome to Two Guys and a Goalie. Matt Iwanyk in for Dustin Nielsen, who's taking a couple days off before he heads off to Switzerland for the Spangler Cup. But as always, we got Joaquin Gage here. We got Matt Kassian here, the former NHLers, the experts. They're the guys that would tell us what's going to happen with the Edmonton Oilers tonight and tomorrow. Matt, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. It's just it's good to see the one true commish in the house, and
Jesus, so close to Christmas too.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, Matt. Appreciate that. I did bring the trophies in today.
If I would have known you would have been bringing them, I would have showed up just to make sure I get the all of them, because that's what I won.
yeah. Not first, you're last, but he's got 3 last place trophies there. Good for you, Cass. Yeah, good for you. Good for you. Jesus, we had to start this way, you two.
I didn't do anything. Don't put this on me.
You did it. You guys talked before. I know it. I'm not part of that.
Well, you want to know something, Gager? If you were a strong enough commissioner, you would have had this all figured out prior, and you wouldn't have such a disgruntled constructors champion over here.
You both were poopy pants with the whole F1 thing. The only reason there's 2 trophies out there is because of you in the first place, because you complained last year. And now I have Cass complaining, and I have to make these adjustments. In no part did I ever say that there was a constructors champion.
I'm sorry. I thought this is Formula One, where they award
we had
first.
2 teams.
We have 2 teams. We award first, second, and third place, just like after every race. Who gets trophies?
I know.
Constructor, first, second, third. At the end of the season, who gets trophy? First, second, and third constructors. I thought this was Formula One. I thought we're doing Formula One here. I thought this is Formula One.
And Gager has always claimed that he's a Formula One fan. He's always claimed that he's this big super fan, and he's dedicated and he's watching and all this. And I don't know. I don't even know if he actually watches the sport anymore. I don't know.
You guys have taken the term fantasy to a whole new level. Like, I know it says fantasy league, but geez, you guys, this is crazy.
There's one football trophy that gets awarded at the end of the season. There's one fantasy title that gets awarded at the end of the season. That's it. There's 3
and there was
drivers.
You're agreeing with me.
Football. In F1, 3 titles. First, second, third get their trophy, and a constructor gets his trophy.
When do people talk about the constructor's title as
it doesn't
something
matter about
prestigious?
People,
how do
they? Do you not watch?
Cass, no one cares. No one. You being a non-fan of F1 and never watching a race, you don't care. Like if
no one cares about the teams. Like, did you not watch Drive to Survive? Watching
most
all the inside
people
info?
Don't even talk about. Oh yeah, who do they talk about? Who do they talk about in F1 right now?
Max Verstappen.
Okay, who talks?
Lewis Hamilton.
If you go onto the F1 website right now, go on there and see if anyone is talking about the constructor's title. No one.
But
you have to do.
Why did they give it away then? Why do they give it out?
Because you guys are money grubbing thugs and think there's a monetary gain for winning the constructors like usual.
Do you think those teams want to win the constructors championship? Do they want to win it?
What a great question.
Teams, do they want to go in the constructors championship so they could get the money to fund their team?
I will call Toto right now and ask him, Toto, would you rather have a champion or win the constructors?
He'll take champion. And look, Cass isn't sitting here saying that he's better than the drivers' championship. Well, but he got the constructors' championship.
Yeah, but that's why Cass doesn't care. Like his values are all screwed. He just wants the monetary gain. Okay, Cass, there's some Lind chocolates. I'll pick those up. I'll drop them off on my way home. That's what you win.
Well, it's a long drive for you, so feel free to do that.
And apparently not a big racing guy, just not a big driving fan, just doesn't follow along. They give away a President's Trophy. We don't talk about it, but they still hang up their banners.
Yeah. Can you name last year's President's Trophy winner?
Boston Bruins.
Oh, okay. Jeez. I thought you'd.
It's an easy one.
That was a
Can you name
very
who it was?
easy one.
Okay,
Can
2
you
years
name who
ago.
it was the year
Florida
before?
Panthers.
Florida Panthers.
That's an easy one, too. 3 years ago.
Colorado Avalanche.
Oh, crap. This isn't working out for Gage.
And then the Lightning were in there for a little bit.
Lightning were in there before that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no one cares. No one cares about that. What
But
fan
they still get the banner. If people didn't care, why would they put up a banner?
That only matters in the U.S. They raise something that no one has.
The Oilers
any
have
idea.
president's banners,
Do they?
I think. Or have they ever won a president's?
Have they won a President's Trophy?
Edmonton Oilers banners. I got to see if I can find this.
Shouldn't it
quickly.
be a Prime Minister banner?
What do you mean? Well, let's go talk to. Yeah, there's President's Trophy banners: 86, 87, 85, 88.
Wow.
85, 86, I should say. So they're there. So the Oilers do it.
Yeah.
You saying you're better than the Edmonton Oilers?
No, I'm saying that what if fans in Edmonton had a choice, what would they prefer? A constructors is essentially the President's Trophy winner.
But I'm not saying that. We're not saying Tony doesn't deserve getting a trophy for winning first overall. I have never said that. That is an incorrect statement, throwing that at me. But anyways, I think people are sick of the F1 talk. So
let's move on. Has anyone
Yeah,
got
music
their
is
go
good.
with the audio stream?
Or audio stream
Yeah.
wasn't there, so I had to go fix that. Also, Spency, 5 cents before we continue. I like renaming today to 2 Matts and a goalie instead of 2 guys and a goalie.
That's
I really
good.
like that.
We should have done that.
Yeah.
What were you going to say?
Has anyone got their Christmas bonus from Edmonton Sports Talk yet? Because I've poured the foundation in the pool. I'm just waiting for that check to come in.
I feel like the Christmas bonuses should be in the form of whatever remaining 6 o'clock lager there is.
Oh, they're out now. They're back being stocked and
back?
stuff. They're going, and actually we retweeted from the Edmonton Sports Talk account. There's the tap head in a couple of locations at Sobeys Liquors, and there's the 6 o'clock lager tap head, which is it looks really weird.
It's really nice. The Matt that matters, the one that's here, showed me it, Cass, and and it looks really good. I'm sorry. You know what? I have to say, like, after deliberating with my internal FIA group, there are going to be subtle changes to the F1 Fantasy League next year, and we are going to incorporate a Constructors Champion for next year. And I'm sorry, Cass, I realize that it could have been a little bit of a misstep on my part because I incorporated 2 teams. But this is the second year of a league, and but it was never mentioned about a Constructors Champion as well. My initial the initial thinking was having 2 teams would make it more fun for people to have more options with their teams. That was it. But you've made up a good point. But there was at no time whatsoever was there a Constructors Championship trophy, which has me looking for Constructors Champion League trophies to get, because the Matt that matters here wanted trophies last year.
And you delivered. You delivered.
I appreciate that we're moving that direction. I think it's taking steps in the right direction. I'm not at this point, although I do truly appreciate that. I'm not ready to withdraw my grievance, because I thought with the 2 teams, it was clearly understood by everybody that's what was happening. But you know what? Who else we may have a grievance with? Actually, a lot of fans have a grievance with right now is the Edmonton Oilers. So, Gager, let's start with you. Or actually, Maddie, we can start with you. What is your opinion of the Edmonton Oilers play the last 3 games? What changed to go from big long winning streak to now not so small losing streak?
Well, I don't know why I'm the one answering this when I have the 0 NHL games experience with the 2 other NHLers, and I'm having to answer this one first. I really don't know. Like, it's one where I think a little bit goes to the goaltending hasn't been there in the moments that you've needed the goaltending to be there. Everything was working so well in that 8-game win streak. And just when that momentum's rolling, we've seen it across all sports, just good things can keep happening. And then the Oilers dropped that first one, and now it's trying to get back to that winning. I guess it just goes back to just who are the real Edmonton Oilers? Or is the real Edmonton Oilers somewhere in that 8-game winning streak, or there's somewhere in this 3-game losing streak, or is a combination of those two? But maybe this team just isn't constructed well enough. And you had Connor McDavid in that 8-game winning streak just going off, carrying this team. And that led to the defense and goaltending playing a little bit better. And then, look, Connor McDavid's still doing some good things, but now everything's coming to more the mean of what this team is. But I'll come back to what you two think. Gager?
You make a good point. The Oilers aren't the team in that 8 games. If you look at the stats, no one's that team of what they were going to accomplish. And quite frankly, I don't think the team that we've seen over the last 2 games is the actual Edmonton Oilers as well. There's a happy medium in between that is tough, because you're not getting the types of performances that at the beginning of the year I think that they thought they were going to get from certain players on the team. And tonight we see Pickard starting. Mm-hmm. I mean, if we look at the whole picture, we never saw someone coming up from the minors and starting a game so early in the season, not being because of an injury. Conor Brown now sitting in the press box, which probably would have happened sooner in a cap world that's not strapped with more options. And Stuart Skinner being thrust, and Murray made a great point on the hangout today. Stuart Skinner is, when you look at the whole body of work, he has outperformed what we thought he would be at this situation, but he has also played at a level where expectations are raised as well. And we're not seeing the performances by the big two that we saw last year and just record-setting seasons. It's somewhere in there. It's what this team is, and I hate to say it because we're so far into the regular season now, but having to ask the identity of a team at this point of the year with the players that they've had, the nucleus of this team is troubling to me. There's too much inconsistency. They cannot keep playing like winning a bunch, losing a few. They have to find their game and what that consists of, because deep down I look at the Oilers and they seem like a team still wanting to play a run and gun kind of last goal wins type of style. They have to find that the responsibility to make it difficult, what they were doing in that 8-game winning streak, to allow, to make it harder on other teams to go through 5 guys and a goalie that's playing really well.
Cass, you want to answer your own question? What are you seeing different from this Oiler team in that 8 games versus this 3-game losing streak?
Yeah, a couple of things. I think, they still played good in Tampa, and we saw that. We could look at goaltending and say, well, goaltending let them down. So first game, goaltending let them down, but it almost seemed like that was the sag. Like you lose one, and then it's like the mythos and the wonder around what was going on with putting together this win streak. It was like, well, all of a sudden they were human again, right? It's like, we got hit with the kryptonite. Now we're back to being normal. And then we saw a reversion in the next game where all of a sudden the defensive mistakes that they had been so horrible with the first 20 games of the season just started creeping right back in immediately. And we knew there was going to be a reversion at some point. Like they weren't going to play perfect hockey the entire way, the entire rest of the season. But a big question for me was, okay, now that you've lost 2 in a row, is this team going to allow things to snowball? And if I was going to pick reasons that it snowballs into game 3, I wasn't going to pick the power play. I don't think any of us were picking the power play to say, hey, their power play is going to let them down today. And that's going to be the reason why, because they were decent 5-on-5 against the New York Islanders. Like they were decent 5-on-5. Didn't give up too much, didn't generate too much. threw a lot of shots from the outside, a lot of shots off shin pads. But at the end of the day, it was even on the power play and the penalty kill, it was mental mistakes again. So what have I seen that has got back to now they've lost 3 in a row? If they lose 4 in a row, this is probably going to be the culprit again here, is just those big mental mistakes that lead to goals against. We could look at Vinny Desharnais. I don't know how he doesn't deflect the puck on the PK through the box. Don't know how he doesn't get at least a piece of it. No idea how he doesn't on that. The Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, backhand pass to nobody to generate an opportunity back the other way on the power play. Like just those moments that just absolutely burn you seem to have kind of creeped back in. Now you have to purge it from your group, and you have to purge it quickly because, I think guys, if they win today, I think that's a big recovery. Like where there was a 3-game skid, but then they're back at it, they're back into it. If they lose 4 here, ooh, that's a heavy momentum carrying you into a game tomorrow against the New York Rangers, who are one of the best teams in the league, in my opinion, and play a style of game that just has been absolutely difficult for you to play against this year. So, yeah, we'll have to see what happens, but that's a lot of words of me saying I think that the big mental mistakes that just lead to big breakdowns that lead to big goals against, that's been the biggest thing.
Can they afford a split here? Or you obviously can't afford the loss tonight if you're looking tomorrow maybe potentially being a loss and this 3-game losing skid going to 5. But with where this team is, can they afford to go 500? Is that okay? Is that fine as they head into their Christmas break? Getting the 1 win, ending that skid, but beginning a losing streak potentially, like having that first loss the next night?
It all depends, guys, on what they do against the Western Conference teams. Because if you're going to lose games, you want to lose them against the East. If you want to win games, you got to win them against the West. And so it's like if you split this weekend, you're not happy with how the trip has gone thus far, being 2-1 on the road, losing 3 out of 4. But if you can then follow that up with winning 2 of 3, going 2-1 or going 3-0 or going 2-0-1, let's say, against the California teams. Well, now you've put yourself back in a decent position. So it kind of depends on who you're playing and who you're winning against. But I don't want to say the season would be over. I don't think it is if they were to lose tonight. But it's just digging themselves in a deeper hole and just making it more and more difficult for what they want to do.
It's tough because of the start, right? They put themselves in a situation where they have to take points out of the Eastern Conference, and to me, I can't see this as a successful road trip without going 2-1 at this point. I think these games are crucial because of the situation. I don't think that a lot of teams are from the West are going to go out east and pull out 4 points from the Rangers and the Devils. This is an opportunity to grab points that I don't think a lot of teams that the Edmonton Oilers are battling against are going to do. So it's a massive opportunity. And I know what you're saying, Cass, but I think just because of the situation that they've put themselves in, that these next 4 points are huge when you get into the later stages of March and April.
This is 2 Matts and a goalie here on Edmonton Sports Talk. We're just going to go with that now. Oilers taking on the Devils later tonight. Tom Gazzola will have the Oil Stream pregame show. Conor Brown, as of practice yesterday and stuff, not skating. He's going to be a scratch. You guys like this move by Chris Knobloch to put Conor Brown in the press box potentially tonight?
Guy's got 0 goals, got 1 assist, and he's played a healthy amount of the season with Leon Draisaitl and Connor McDavid. So, yeah. I'm totally fine with that. I'm totally fine with it. He hasn't accomplished anything. What has he done for you? And I know he's been okay on the penalty kill. He's done some okay things on the penalty kill. But if I look at 5-on-5 play, what has he actually done for you? He hits a post. He has 1 goal called back. Hasn't done anything else. It just doesn't make sense to have him in the lineup, guys. It doesn't. And what just sucks is you're sitting here going if you had that, ability to look back in hindsight is well, yeah, you're probably right before you give him that bonus, putting him on waivers at this point with how he's played. Realistically, that's what you would have done and said, well, maybe someone picks him up. If not, he's down in the minors and we're not going to have him play that last NHL game to cash out on this bonus that's going to hurt us moving forward from a cap standpoint. Because he's just, and I've wanted him desperately to succeed. I wanted him to score a goal and to throw the monkey, but guys, he just hasn't got it done.
Yeah, and there was a lot of teasing in the preseason a little bit where
he was getting 2-goal game.
He was getting in the right spots and Connor was finding him. But I mean, in a regular situation, like you said, Cass, that he would have been in the press box long before if this was a regular kind of cap situation with extra players around. I am completely fine with him being in the press box. I mean, people would love. I love that I added Herdman to our little chat there, but when he missed the net there and the memes that followed were absolutely hilarious. It's enough's enough. And I like it because hopefully it lights a fire with him, and not that he like there was a point, I don't know what the microphones are on the island there, but you heard a lot of F-bombs in those games. And Conor Brown came down and shot the puck, and it went in the stands. You could hear a verbal F word from him at that point. He realizes what's going on. But what it does, I think, is it holds other guys accountable as well. Here's a guy that's been struggling and has had part of his game, and I refer to the penalty kill as going well for him. But let's face it, this guy wasn't brought in to be a good penalty killer. This guy was supposed to be a complementary player to within the top 6, whatever that was going to look like. This, for players on a team, when you see a guy get sat or something like that lights the fire for everybody. So I like the timing. Hopefully when he gets back into the lineup, things can start snowballing a little bit better for him.
Well, yeah, and this though, like for a lot of Oilers fans, the frustration, it's not that he's getting scratched now. It's that they were calling after Game 9 to not let him play Game 10. That he immediately needed to go on waivers, and there was no shot you could put him in that 10th game. I was saying at the time, I think you put him on the waivers, you send him down. Maybe if things are better in January, February, if he's lighting it up in Bakersfield, you take the shot at that 10th game to see if it works. At that time, it made 0 sense as to why he got that 10th game. And now you've got, the cap going up, $4 million next year, whatever it is. Well, 3.25 of that is going to be locked up in Conor Brown. So for the Oilers, it's a $750,000 cap increase next year. And you're getting 0 help this year from him, or, very little production from him. And next year you're going to be hurt because of this. It's going to turn around to be just an all-around pretty bad contract for what was supposed to be just on a flyer on a guy who was coming off of a pretty major surgery. So now in the nasty chat, which one? Chris Rund does ask, was it Chris here? No, yes. What do you do as a scratch player? Do you just sit in the press box and feel bad? What happens when you're not playing in a game and your team's playing? Are you really following along? Like, what goes into being a scratch player?
It depends on the night. I had a lot of these. I had something like 200 of them. I don't know. I had a lot. I had a lot of healthy scratches in my career. Depends on the rink. Depends on if you're on the road or at home. Generally speaking, depending on, like for a night like tonight, for example, you wouldn't be doing this. Like you wouldn't be working out. But if it's where you have like a couple days in between games, typically you do like a bag skate or extra work in the morning after your morning skate. And then usually when you come into the rink, you do a workout in the evening. So, guys will be heading on the ice. You're kind of in right towards when they're kind of getting ready to go out. Like no one's really going to be in the other change room. And let's say you're at home, for example, this is that situation. Then you'd head over to the gym, get your lift in. And then you'd either go up to the press box and watch, if you were a guy that was banged up or you're hurt, you're getting some treatment, typically around that time, if it's a situation that requires treatment, and you're generally just staying out of the way. So you get a workout in and you're either going to watch upstairs or you're going to sit in an area where you can watch like on the TV where you don't have to see any other people and deal with any of the meaty guys like Joaquin Gage running around the press box. On the road, a little bit different because you don't now they have like they create little workout areas for you, but the gyms aren't as nice as what you have in your home facility. But the thing's basically the same. You generally get a workout in that environment, though. You don't usually have, it's like you don't have an extra room to go watch on TV. So usually you're in the press box as an opposing player. Either that or you're sitting and watching, kind of tucked behind the video coach on occasion on like a little small screen. Had to do that at like one of the better ones was the old Detroit. So Little Caesars in Detroit. That was like the worst rooms in the league for that. One, I was healthy. I always got healthy scratch in Detroit, and you only had one dressing room, and so you couldn't like. There's no place to watch on the TV except in the dressing room. And the press box was so small that it was always full. So you can never sit in the press box. There was like, oh no, there's no spot for you in the press box. So you would sit and watch in the dressing room. The second the period would end, you'd have to like hit the power button on the TV and like run into the change room, like where everyone changes clothes, and close the door. Because it's just basically like a little closet. You run in there, close the door, turn off the lights. And it's like, you have to sit in there and hide for the entirety of the intermission because there's no seats for you in the press box and there's nowhere else to watch on the TV. So that one was brutal. But
why did you have to hide?
The coaches don't want you around.
Oh, so like, and that even in a situation like that, they don't want to see you.
To a T, they do not want to see you. They do not want you to be described. And that is like every single coach I ever had. Yep. The only time it was like, okay, was in playoffs when you're in like triple overtime and you were trying to like help the trainers get like smoothies and liquids to guys and like trying to help with what's going on. That is the only time. The rest of the time it's like, no, like do not be seen. Like if you walk through that room and it's a game day and you're not playing, like woe is you. Like you will get absolutely shredded. Absolutely shredded. It's no, if you're not playing, you do not exist. You do not exist in that dressing room. Now, you could say that that's right or wrong, but that's how they run it. Now, maybe some teams are different and some coaches are different, but as every single coach that I ever played for, that was always the thing. Yep. It was always it.
So funny, Cass, that you bring that up because everything that he just said is 100% true, except for a goalie.
Yeah.
And
that's different.
I hated Cass at that point. Any guys that were healthy scratch because
like the backup goalie?
Yeah. Because now these guys are pissed because they're not in the lineup.
We're not playing and we're just taking it out of the goalie.
So we're out extra after practice. And do you think these guys are trying to score low stick, 5-hole? No. They're all trying to go bar down every time and missing it. Either they're warming up the glass behind me or my shoulders at this point. So there is no love, and it is the worst time for the backup at this point. And then afterwards, you go back to the hotel. Obviously, for a goal, I've been facing, probably about 300 shots in the next half an hour. I'm bagged. Most of these guys are fine. They feel good about themselves because I'm beat to a pulp, and they're in a cab first back to the hotel. They get back in time for food.
No, usually not, man. Usually not. Like you're back, like everyone because
but I'm not
on the ice. Like another.
There's a guarantee I'm not there in time because I got 5 ice bags on my shoulders and neck and throat at this point, and so then I crawl into bed and try to get a few winks of sleep before the game. And these guys are all having fun. They're like, hey, yeah, let's put the suit on, look, what's going on in the crowd? Where are we? Maybe we'll show up a little bit late. They don't have to go in the room. It's a completely different universe for the guy that doesn't play as a goalie.
Do you go on a team bus with the team if the coach doesn't want to see you, or do you have to get a different way to the game?
No, you go.
They're still fine there. The coach is okay at that moment.
Yeah, they're okay at that point. But it's like when you get to the rink,
it's
like
done.
It's done. Like you will change because again, if you're doing a workout, if you didn't do the workout in the morning, which sometimes that happens too, is like you'll do your lift after pregame. So you get bagged on the ice and then you'll do your lift afterwards. And then you miss the entirety of lunch. Like you're not getting lunch at that point. It will basically be put away. There is no food left. And you're like walking in, I really like having like a Pellegrino, like one of those little fizzy things, maybe mixing with some cranberry juice. Those are all gone. Like they haven't refilled them because everyone has just gone through. The cookies are gone. Everything's gone. In that instance, it's like, you get to the rink, like disappear. But if you're working out, then it's get your workout stuff on, then mostly disappear, like disappear to the absolute little corner. And heaven forbid you mess with anybody's pregame rituals or routine, or you're in the way, or you get the wrong guy out playing sewer ball. But it's like you can't be totally gone at that point, so they understand. But it is the same thing. Like if you're not playing, And if you, for whatever reason, you're doing that workout that evening, it's like, you don't be in the dressing room. You will not be in the dressing room. Like if you're in that little workout area and you're hanging out around there, sure. If you're like on one of the exercise bikes and you're pedaling away or you're doing something like that, sure, they're fine. They're happy to see you and say hi. But yeah, the second you're like, if you're hanging out in that room, if they saw you laughing with somebody, heaven forbid, same thing. Like, no, you're getting absolutely no. It's just, you just don't do it. You do not do it.
Thank God. Thank God for Tom Pody at that point, because for older Oilers fans, he was
a lightning rod for fans.
Well, yeah, but because he had so many allergies to food, there would always, like when we'd go on the road, he would have like this. He'd have to have boiled chicken. So at least
that's what everyone has, anyways.
No,
who boils chicken?
Really, guys?
All the hotels. That's all. That's how they make it. They boil it. You guys didn't know that? That's why I can't eat salmon now. Like I don't really like salmon, because eating salmon, too much salmon and chicken in hotels is, most of the hotels, they boil it and then they pull it out and then they throw it on the grill to get some grill lines on it. But that's how most of, like, because they're cooking so much.
The salmon's still pretty
there
good.
was a difference. This was boiled chicken. The other one was no. Maybe it was sous vide and then boiled. But there was Tom Pody's special boiled chicken over there, and that no one touched. And I don't. Obviously, I'm of a certain vintage, and maybe they made some adjustments, Cass, but there was at least, I would say, 25 boiled chicken breasts over there that no one touched, that I had to, thank God my culinary skills were at a certain level where I would slice it up and dress it with some salt and pepper and put it on a salad, because that's the only thing left. That was, everything else was gone. There was salad and Tom Pody's boiled chicken.
You don't like salmon still, though? Like salmon, I think
it's not that I don't like it.
You're just sick of it?
I'm just was so sick of it. That and broccoli too. Same thing. Yeah, and that's just because I ate so much of it for so long.
Wow.
And it's not like it was like all good, like cedar plank salmon or like nice, like smoked on a pellet grill, or like, poached in butter and cream, like with dill. Like it's not like it was well done salmon on the road. Like it was generally dry, generally overcooked, and still healthy for you, but just not. I just can't to this day. Like we have salmon like once every 6 months, and my wife gets so happy because she loves it. But I'm just like, I just can't. I still just can't. I couldn't eat pasta. I didn't eat pasta for like 4 years after I was done playing. Same thing.
I mean, we're nitpicking here a little bit. Some of those pregame meals, like when you get called up from the American League to the
no, we're not comparing it to the HL. That's a whole nother thing.
Well,
That's a whole nother thing.
You can always tell the American League guy that got called up at the pregame meal on the road, because his plate looks like he was at Cracker Barrel. And it's
you have two types of sauce.
Oh my God!
Yeah. You have rice and noodles.
I remember.
You have two types of salad dressing.
I got called up and we went to Florida, and I remember just going, "Oh my God!" There was an ice sculpture, and I think like someone bumped into me. Gage, what are you doing? I go, I'm just admiring the artwork right now. I think I was almost crying watching this because of the food was just like, oh my! It was like the rays of sunshine from heaven going on to that, coming from Fredericton in New Brunswick, where it was like sweaty pasta with, I don't know, the sauce was red, but I don't think it was tomatoes.
You don't have to tell us about broccoli. Gager knows all about the broccoli and Edmonton sports talk. So thank you for saving us that one day, Gager. That was very kind of you. Two Matts and a goalie here on Edmonton Sports Talk. Matt Iwanyk, Matt Kassian, Joaquin Gage with you here. Just back to Conor Brown quickly. Have you seen anything in his play this year that says to you that maybe after a little time off, him getting back out there, he might be able to turn this thing around?
Maybe, but not overly. Me and Tommy had talked a little bit on the pre and post game shows, a couple of them, about how he's doing some smaller things. Okay. He is doing some little things that aren't bad. Penalty killing in particular, he's trying to move his feet. Like, it's not like he's trying to do things wrong, but it's just like, there's just been so little there that I don't know. Again, I hope that he does. I hope that he finds a way to start producing. But it's really hard to believe that until we actually see it.
I hate seeing guys struggle. Maybe it's the the Apocalypse Now flashbacks that I see. But no, you look at Conor Brown's face, and there was multiple points where they kind of zoomed in on it, and I don't think he's close.
No,
I don't see it. I don't. Yeah, sure, he's hit some posts, and I have an issue with. Oh, but he hit a post. Who cares? I mean, and I'm being a goalie here, but it's because the goalie had it covered. You hit the post. It's still not. It doesn't mean anything. You missed by a foot. Who cares?
your job's not to cover the goalpost.
I don't cover the goalpost. Oh, he hit a post. That's crap. Stop it.
You almost had. Anytime you say something that, it just makes me think of like, you almost had me. Or I almost had you.
Yeah.
You never had me. You never had your car.
Future EST Hangout guest, Bob Stauffer, I remember we were playing in the media game, and Staff came down and fired one, like probably a good 15 feet above my head. Like I was like looking straight up at this puck. And afterwards he goes, "Oh, I had your high glove." And I was like, "Bob, we weren't playing broom ball. Like this is a hockey net here." It was crazy. But no, sure, his penalty killing is good, and it's brought him to this point. But enough's enough. You're playing with arguably two of the best players in the game today, and you're not producing. It can't happen.
It is Christmas time. Santa will be coming around right away. Obviously, I think Conor Brown's going to be looking for that goal in his presence. You know, he's going to be looking to open up that goal because maybe it gets things going. What other gifts do you think the Oilers are going to be looking for once they're finished with the Rangers under their Christmas tree this holiday season as they try to turn this thing around? Any other players that need a little something from Santa this year?
Health, I think. We don't know the exact extent of where guys are. I think health is a big key because
Does it seem like Matthias Ekholm's gotten healthier?
Definitely. But then on the flip side, look at Evander Kane.
Yeah.
You know, I think I can tell when Evander Kane isn't feeling it when he's not as physical, not as engaged as he usually is, right? Like he's a little bit of a poop disturber out there, and you just don't see it when he's a little bit injured because I think he feels like he can't back it up a little bit, and we've just seen he's a little bit off right now from what, and we can expect lulls in the season. Him and Hyman, I think at the start of the year were the most engaged players with the Oilers, but I just see him taking a little bit of a step back right now.
I got a couple presents for a couple of the guys. Let's think on them. Zach Hyman, more Hart Trophy votes.
Oh, does he need them? I think he's the runaway right now.
Oh no,
the question I think right now with Hyman is it unanimous or not? Yeah, like
unanimous or not? Right.
That's
right. Okay, so unanimous Hart voting.
Well, who's the MVP of the Oilers right now? If you were to vote,
Zach Hyman. The analytics prove it.
It is a weird conversation though because I think if you go back to 16-17, Cam Talbot was kind of the MVP of the Oilers that year, but Connor McDavid's the best player in hockey, and he was the best player, right? Like, it's hard. You have to now. That's a different one. It's not a different forward, but the goaltender is just so important.
It's a little skewed with the
it gets skewed a bit there. Where I think sometimes you could have because it's most valuable to your team.
And I hate saying that,
and it's always just so weird. But so I would just go with Hyman, unanimous basically.
Yeah, that's a good one. Nutsy Dielson's in with one. Dylan Holloway, he gets some calcium.
Yeah,
under the tree.
Yeah, he needs to drink milk like Dusty because this is crazy.
Actually, Dusty had 2 chocolate milks 3%. Brought to him by Lucas Holt from Whale and the Wolf. Left one in the fridge.
What?
I know, and they weren't even that big.
Wow.
So I don't know what Dusty's doing there. He just can't do him. He can't crush him like he used to be able to.
Well, at least he'll get some in Davos. You know?
Yeah,
lots of milk chocolates.
Yeah. I'm going to be very intrigued to find out what he eats when he comes back. That's always a fun thing to figure out because it's not just you're in Switzerland. Like you're just in Europe in general. And there's a lot of culture in Europe that we all know. And I'm always fascinated by what culture. Like he doesn't have a lot of time to enjoy Switzerland, but in the little moments, Like the food culture is what you got to go enjoy. And what foods did you try, Dusty?
Matty, when you walk out of that rink, there's like 4 or 5 food trucks. Like there's so many things to try. Like it's the taste of the world as you walk out. Like the roasted chestnuts are enough to drive your senses crazy. He has ample opportunity to increase his intellectual palate, so to speak.
Well, he went to a few years ago Taste of Edmonton, and he was telling Dave and I'm off to Taste of Edmonton. Like, oh, cool. Like, what are you going to go eat? And he's like, I'm going to go get steak bites. And we're like, Dusty, you have those every Monday night in fall from September through December. You know what these are. To what you just said, it's not the point. It's to go try some different things. But I know I like them. That's cool. Go buy them on your own. You're going to taste them to try something different. He came back the next day. He did try some different things. He had the Japanese village rice with their sauce, and he was impressed by it. Like he's like, that was good.
Yeah.
So maybe he'll pick up things, but it is.
We need like Cass has some good chops with the culinary skills. So.
Do you now?
Oh yeah.
He's I've seen what he's put out. There's I would say a little southern flair, maybe that's
sometimes,
with the marriage and stuff. But yeah, I would definitely go to a potluck with Cass because he's very competitive. Yeah, and he's gonna try to have the best whatever it is. And of course, me trying to outdo Cass and being mad at this whole constructors crap. I would try to.
You just agreed to the constructors thing.
Yeah, but
for next year.
Well, but he's admitted you're right, and he's learned from his mistakes, but now he's still going back.
No, it's not. I've learned from my mistakes.
You said you made a good point, Matt. You were right.
No. The difference between you and I as a commissioner is I listen to the people.
I do, but they're just wrong.
Exactly.
I let them know that they were wrong.
I'm a man of the people. I know what my fans need. It's not.
Commissions aren't supposed to be the man of the people.
It's not about me. It's about the people.
It's about the integrity of what you're running. That's what it's about.
The good of the league.
Like,
the good of the league.
Look, as a commissioner, I'm not going to help someone in a draft like something happened
yesterday. You have to recognize what the people want and give them what they want, as we've seen in F1.
Didn't the vote go in favor of the constructors on this show with the poll? So the people wanted that.
Yep. And I'm agreeing. I am a man of the people.
You just
I listen.
Said that
no, I don't listen to you. You're not of the people. The people have spoken. You're not the people. You're a guy that needs shoulder surgery. All right, I'm not listening to you.
Yeah, and then I'm going to come back stronger than ever.
Okay, I can't wait.
And I'll be ready. I didn't have time this year fully for that F1 league. I'm all in next year.
Oh yeah.
I'm going all in, and I'm taking that. The two Matts are going to run this league.
Two Matts are going to be left in my dirty air.
Oh, I'm sorry. Where did you finish this year?
Third.
No,
Fourth.
You didn't. Yeah.
Fourth. Yeah.
That Matt right there had two of them.
Your teams.
Yeah.
I didn't do anything. I'm just pointing out this here.
Some people might be relegated to the
F2.
F2. Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah. That's Formula One.
Yeah.
That's
racing.
One.
That I would respect that, Gager. Even if I get relegated, I respect that because that's how Formula One works.
Yeah.
But you also then have to run an F2 league.
That's fine. I'll do that too.
Have you gotten into Formula 2 at all?
I do watch it just to see because the F1 app is fantastic. It's ridiculous.
I would never want to go to a potluck that has Dusty though, because he's not bringing anything in return, right?
No, he's just showing up.
He's just showing up and eating all the food, and you're not getting anything good from him.
No, it's something from M&M probably.
Here, I got a question for you guys. Let's say you're hosting a Christmas potluck.
Are you hosting a Christmas potluck right away?
No,
okay.
But let's say we were, and you could invite one of the Edmonton Oilers over, not for his play, not for like you just want to hang out with this person, but for strictly what you think the food capacity is going to be, like the quality of whatever dish they're going to bring. Who are you picking? Like who's the guy who's like this guy has to come and he needs to bring a dish?
I'm just trying to think here. Like, I think Matthias Ekholm would have some really
someone else
like good food from Europe, and he's a bigger boy. Like he knows how to eat, I would think. So he would know some good food and stuff. So I don't know. I'm leaning Matthias Ekholm right off the bat.
Oh shoot!
I've got a couple of others, but I'll wait till you guys go.
You know, yeah, that's kind of weak, but maybe I'd invite Leon over because I do make quite a good schnitzel.
But he's bringing. So you're. It's what the other person's going to bring, right? The Oiler, Cass.
Yeah. What they're bringing.
What they're bringing.
Yeah, I know you're trying to bring. Like you're trying to guess. Like what are they're going to bring
What
something
they're
that you're going to
gonna
look at
bring.
like, damn, that looks great.
Oh, geez. Well, you got to. That's tough because you got to look at someone with a little bit more experience. Maybe go into a few more. You know what? I don't think Leon's good with this. He's good with the burger flipper, but not with the one that matters. I would go with. I think Sam Gagne.
Jenna Tills also says Gags no contest.
Yeah, I think his skills would be a little bit different, a little bit more vintage. Yeah. Walking around the kitchen, he's got some kids. I would be more interested to see what he brought.
Cass, is that where you were going?
I'm having to reassess here.
Because the other part of me would say Connor McDavid, not because he'd cook, but he would buy something to come. Dusty brings the M&M. I'd like to know what Connor's paying to bring.
He's paying a professional chef
to make something pretty incredible, and he's passing it off as his own or something because he's Connor McDavid. He doesn't have time to cook, and it's going to be something absolutely unreal. So that's kind of a cheat answer there.
That's a fair point. Fair point, though, but completely inside the scope of the rules of the question. So,
you're such.
It's right. Well,
I'm going up to Sherwood Park tonight to get knocked out, Todd, but I'll put up a fight.
Mine was pretty good. I actually made yesterday because my little brother came over for dinner. He's in town visiting for Christmas, and so the girls wanted to see him. So I did. I've never done this before, but I did some smoked meatballs. So typically I sous vide the meatballs. Like I make them, I freeze them, and then I sous vide them because then they hold their shape, and then finish them in a cast iron. They're like super crispy on the outside. But this time I was like, I'm just gonna smoke them, and didn't know how they're gonna turn out, and they were actually really, really good, really, really good. Yeah, made it with a little homemade red sauce and some gnocchi. It was pretty tasty. Would have got a good one there, Gager.
Yeah, that sounds delicious. I've experimented. I make a pretty good buffalo chicken dip, and but this year for Super Bowl, I'm doing a smoked buffalo chicken dip.
Smoked dip.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
Yeah, no, I'll bring it into the hangout.
Yeah,
love that.
You know what? We if we're gonna keep jumping kind of on this topic to go back to gifts for the Oilers. How about because it just popped in my head? How about a little hot sauce for Ryan McLeod? Something spicy.
Yeah, we're giving him one of those chip challenges to light the fire because I did that a few months ago.
Just get him one Carolina Reaper.
yeah, and just get
one.
going.
Just one.
He just needs they said in football and stuff or hockey too. They like smell that salt or whatever it is. Just give him the chip. Before each game, here, McGrind, take this, and just see what happens from there. Yeah. Oilers will be taking on the Devils tonight. Oil Stream pregame show with Tommy and Cass, and that'll be coming up later today on Edmonton Sports Talk. This is the final Two Guys and a Goalie before the new year. You guys will be back with the show with myself, actually, I think January 2nd. We'll be back. But for Chris, you guys have Cass. You got big plans for Christmas this year?
Just hanging out with the family. Yeah. So nothing crazy. We're not going anywhere. It'll be pretty as quiet as it can be with a whole bunch of kids ripping around. So we'll try to keep it as quiet as possible and hopefully confine the chaos to parts of the house where you can't hear everything. Because then it's screaming and fighting all the time. But just family stuff. So we'll keep it pretty low key.
Do you guys have any real Christmas traditions you love to do every single year? Like that's a must, an activity, a movie or something that you always have to watch?
Friday's Christmas Vacation. I have to throw everyone in the same room. My kids will eventually kind of scatter out, but my wife and I will watch and we'll put everything on the tree that needs to be done and get ready for the week. I like that it lands on a Friday kind of before. It's that'll be good. But and then of course big family with my wife's side. Obviously, growing up in the mean streets of Kitsilano, not a lot of family out here. So, but it's going to be fun. My brother-in-law, my sister-in-law with their kids, and Christmas, then Boxing Day. Usually, we go over there, and that's when we open gifts that we've given each other, and just kind of hang out and eat leftovers and get all fat and sassy.
Go-to movie, Cass? You got one?
Go-to
Or
movie?
TV special? Because actually, one of the more underrated ones, I
Yeah.
was talking about this with Lieutenant Eric, because his brother's a big fan of it, and so am I, the Garfield Christmas.
I've never watched that.
It's great.
Yeah, that one's not bad.
It's a good one. It's a very underrated. No one talks about that TV special.
Yeah, the girls really like The Grinch.
Yeah,
Which
gotta,
one?
Both.
The Jim
they
Carrey?
They like the Jim Carrey one, and they like the newer DreamWorks one as well.
See, and I haven't seen that one yet. Maybe
It
this year I'll
was
have to
alright.
watch that one.
Yeah, it was all right. It wasn't like it's groundbreaking, blow you away. Speaking of, by the way, just gonna throw it in here, and I know I texted the group. I went to see last night. So after the smoked meatballs and gnocchi, went with my dad and brother, and my buddy Derek came too, and we went to watch Godzilla -1, not the dub version because it's a Japanese movie, but the subtitle version. That was the best movie I've seen in years.
Wow.
Best movie I've seen in years. Not like probably since Marvel was actually good. Like, not kidding. That was probably the best movie I've seen in a theater since Infinity War. Absolutely go see it. See it with the subtitles. Fantastic.
Yeah, I don't want to get in trouble here,
Fantastic
but I
movie.
have no idea that there was a new movie. Is this a new movie?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's a new movie, but it's a Japanese movie, so it's not. There's not a ton of advertising or marketing for it. Like,
Okay. And it's in like
it's
main
not-
theaters.
It's in some main theaters. I think West Ed might be the only place in Edmonton you might be able to see it right now. Like, it's not everywhere, but it is absolutely spectacular. Fantastic movie. You are doing yourself a disservice if you don't watch that one on the big screen. So there's that. But anyways, back to the Christmas stuff. The girls really like the Grinch movies. Home Alone is one for me that I love, and then Elf. That's kind of those would be the staples in the household.
Okay, I'm looking up the theater right now to see if how long it's playing for.
Christmas Chronicles, I think, is a no-brainer. You on the lines of Monarch and Godzilla and stuff. If you do have Apple Plus, Monarch is quite good. It's pretty cool what they do with Kurt Russell and his son, as they kind of flip roles as how old they are, which I like. Yeah, Cass, like what you said about Marvel, I'm fading away. And even if you are a comic book fan, or if you're not, this isn't for the children, but watch The Boys.
Yeah, you keep mentioning that one to me.
On Amazon Prime. It is what would happen if we really dealt with superheroes. I think it's one of the greatest stories I've ever watched. And don't get confused, because there is a spinoff called Gen V. Do not watch Gen V until you've watched all 4 seasons of The Boys. Then go to Gen V. It'll take you through the Christmas holidays, because the next season of The Boys will start shortly thereafter.
See, I got to catch up on Welcome to Wrexham, season 2.
Yeah,
I
I
haven't
do
watched
too.
any of season 2. I have it all recorded up. I got to watch that.
I don't even know what that is.
It's Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhaney. They own that soccer club.
I hate that it's so
And
good.
there's a series
yeah,
that they've
okay.
made a series about the season. So this, like, it follows a year. It's like Drive to Survive,
Yep.
but for the Wrexham team. And
Yeah, no.
It's like
it's
a
on
prequel
FX.
to when you and I cast by the Oilers. That's basically what's going to happen.
If you know nothing or little to next to nothing about like soccer and how it works over in Europe, they actually do a pretty good job of explaining all the different cups and things like that, and the different nuances that happen in Europe that don't happen here, in promotion and relegation, how that all works and how that all actually impacts a fan base. Like, imagine if the Edmonton Oilers had to be relegated.
Yeah.
Like, what that could have been like.
Crazy.
Oilers
It's crazy over
going to
there.
Bakers, going to HL, have to go up against Stockton and all of that. Godzilla -1. It's in theaters at the very least. Like, I think they only usually put out a week in advance. Like 3 or 4 showings a day until December 28th at the latest, or at the earliest. So
Yep, just
anyone
make
can go.
make sure you see the subtitled version. So Just see the subtitle version. It's not just like a monster show. It's a show about people. They do a wonderful, wonderful job of it. I cried a little bit, won't lie. And I mean that seriously. Like I did. It was emotional in a lot of the right ways, and it was just a great movie.
Where does Aquaman fall into this Marvel DC world, or does it?
It's DC, but it's the dead DC universe that they're not going to do anymore. And
so this doesn't intrigue anyone.
No, that's unfortunately that's the. I liked the first Aquaman. I won't lie. I liked it. It was fine.
First one was good.
Yeah, but this is going to be even more, as the French say, fromage.
Yep. Yeah, smelly fromage.
I want to go see the new Charlie Brown movie.
Of course.
Timothy Chalamet. That actually, because it actually the Johnny Depp version stunk.
Oh, you mean that? Or sorry.
Oh,
did you say Charlie Brown?
Oh, sorry, not
Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
And the Chocolate Factory.
Yeah, that's how I knew it.
Willy Wonka. Yeah.
Thank you. I'm an idiot.
Yeah, that would be a good one.
The Johnny Depp wasn't good, but this one actually looks, and apparently the reviews are pretty
it's kind
strong.
of a prequel of the. It's following along the lines of all those. I want to say Disney kind of what happened before, right? How
did he get this?
How did they get that way?
And all that?
And I said on the Hangout, I love the origin stories.
You did say that.
Yeah.
You did say that. Predictions for tonight. Do you guys do that ever here? Yes, you guys do all the time. I usually come in at this moment and catch things. Cass, you got a prediction for tonight? Actually, you want to know something? Next two nights.
Next two nights?
Before this break.
Let's go 6-5 Oilers tonight and 7-5 Oilers the next night. 2
wins for the Oilers to go into the Christmas break.
I hate to say it. I'm not very optimistic. I think it's 5-2 Devils and 4-1 Rangers.
Wow, you're gonna go with 2 losses.
I just don't see it right now. I'm
gonna split this right in the middle. The Oilers beat the Devils tonight. They played well against the Devils last Sunday. You know, and Pickard beat them. I think this is a team that they could win against, but they're not winning tomorrow against the Rangers. No. That's the game that they'll look so good against the Rangers. But as Cass said, predicted, they're just going to dominate. Everyone's going to be so excited going into Christmas break.
Well, like Cass said, it's not a. He thinks it's not a big deal, so that gives them hope. I'm the.
I never said it's not a big deal.
Well, no. That
less of a deal than losing the other ones.
Jesus. Well, I'll get your constructor's trophy. Jesus. But no, it'll be all right. I can't wait for the nasty chat tonight.
Well, gentlemen, thank you very much for coming on the show today. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year to the two of you. Also to every listener of Edmonton Sports Talk and all the nasties out there, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy New Year. We will have Oiler pre- and post-game shows throughout the next week or so. We will also have a Nielsen Show holiday special that will run next Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, if you happen to be on YouTube or listening on our audio stream. But then the live shows, the daily 6 to 1s. We will be back January 2nd right here on Edmonton Sports Talk. But Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Thank you for all your support over these last few months, and enjoy the games tonight. See ya, Cass.
Merry Christmas.